Hi there, I'm Lisa Doyle with Rockcliff Realtors, and today I have a very special guest to help all of our clients answer some of your most important questions about trusts. This is Alvin Lee. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. And now the name of your company. Share with us the name of your company.
I'm with the law offices of Alvin H. We're located in Dublin.
Okay. And you are the CEO?
I am the CEO, I am the managing attorney, and
Very good. Very good. Well, the reason why I asked you to come down and help us out with information is we've had so many times, I would say over the last 20 years, more than I would care to say, where clients have had properties that were held improperly in and out of their trust. They did things that changed their initial intentions with their trust, and either their children, once they had passed, ended up with a nightmare as far as a probate situation, or even a recent situation where we had a client whose husband passed away and her experience through the whole process was horrible. So I wanted you to share a little bit about trusts, the importance of having one. Even if you're young and you're buying your first home, wouldn't you say that
absolutely.
that's the best time to establish your living trust?
Right.
So share with us a little bit about why you do a trust and then some of what can happen if you don't.
Okay. Well, I mean, a living trust, the way to look at it, it's a legal device to transfer your assets when you pass away.
Okay.
There are a number of reasons why families should need a trust. There are reasons from tax benefits, minimizing taxes, minimizing fees, and so forth. But the main reason why people have trusts is to make sure that they can pass on their estate. In doing so, make sure that their wishes are respected, their legacies are preserved, and that, frankly, what they want actually happens.
Exactly. Now, I think what you said before is a will and a trust go hand in hand. Is that true, or?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
the difference between having just a trust and having a will is that when you just have a will, when you pass away, your estate, your assets, your house, everything will have to go through what's called probate.
Right.
Probate is a legal proceeding that takes place when you don't have a trust. It's a lengthy procedure.
Sometimes years, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Typically it takes 1 to 2 years. There's significant financial costs that are statutory, which means we can't lower them, we can't change them even if we wanted to. And during this time period, the assets are effectively frozen. The beneficiaries, oftentimes the children,
Right.
have no access to those.
Well, and isn't it true too, if the trust isn't set up properly, that there could be severe tax consequences to when you pass? You'll be passing on what you believe is a certain amount of net worth,
Sure.
and later you find that it's maybe 1/4 of that. Is that?
Sure. Well, oftentimes is that when you pass on an estate through a will, what you believe your estate is worth, it may actually be different.
Right.
And depending on a number of factors and circumstances, when you leave probate, you're probably going to leave with a lot. Your family's going to leave with a lot less than what they started with.
Right.
There are significant costs involved, and unfortunately, oftentimes, in order to pay for all these fees, they often have to sell assets within the estate, whether that be the house that you had planned to pass on to your children,
Right.
whether that be the family wedding ring, whatever it may be. That often is the case, which is why we advocate having a trust,
Right.
a living trust.
I agree.
Living trust is a way to pass on your estate to your family, to your children, and without having to go through probate. And not only do you not have to go through probate, you have complete control as to when you want to pass things on, how you want to pass it to, who do you want to pass it to, when do you want to pass it to. A lot of flexibility and a lot of control. But that's just the first part. I mean, that's just the first part of creating that estate plan, creating that trust.
Right.
But the next part is making sure that you have a complete, comprehensive estate plan and making sure that you manage it properly.
And also, this is something that a lot of clients that we've had haven't realized, that when you do things to change your trust, refinance it, or maybe other properties are purchased,
Right.
and they don't properly put them in the trust.
Right.
I've had clients who've told me, oh no, we set up a trust 25 years ago,
Right.
but a lot of things have happened in between,
Right.
so
Right.
there may be consequences that they don't know.
Right. I mean, there could absolutely be a number of consequences from changing the law, changing the family circumstances. One of the things is, one of the most common occurrences is a family buys a house, they set up a trust, they put the house into the trust.
Right.
Maybe 10 years down the road, they decide to get a refinance their home.
Yep.
So they take the house out of the trust, they get the refinance, and then they forget to put it back in. Right.
I've had that happen so many times.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they forget to do it. Something unfortunate happens. They pass away. Well, technically that house is no longer in the trust.
Right.
And as a result, everything that's in the trust will be administered through the trust. But everything that's left out of the trust will have to go through probate. And in this circumstance, the house is left out of the trust, so therefore it would have to go through probate. And that would mean that entire 1 to 2 year process, all those fees, all that time, all those problems when, with everything else already going on.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. There's a lot of, obviously, mourning going on when there's a loss of your loved ones, and the last thing that you want your family to have to think about is that legal consequence.
Right.
So,
it's an unnecessary burden on the family.
Okay. Now, what do you normally do when you meet with a young, maybe a young family? Which I think those are the people that we tend to see most often. That I believe that would be the best suited by hearing this.
Yes.
They're the ones that don't think, oh, I'm in my 30s.
Right.
I don't need to worry about the trust yet.
Right.
But they have now bought their first home.
Right.
They would call you and do like a consultation. Is that true? How that works?
Absolutely. They would give me a call. We'd set up a time to meet. I would give them just a client confidential questionnaire for them to fill out. They'd bring it to our consultation. I offer a free 90-minute initial consultation for all my prospective clients, where we can discuss their concerns, talk about what they're trying to protect, and then from there we can decide on creating a plan, at least giving them some guidance, some direction.
Well, you give them maybe the questions that they would want to ask so that they can decide how to move forward and make a plan. So,
right, exactly.
So I love it. Thank you so much for all your help. I know that anyone who works with you will be well taken care of.
Thank you, thank you.
I trust that. And give them your contact information and again, maybe your website where they can find.
Sure. Again, my name is Alvin Lee. I'm with the law offices of Alvin H. Lee. My website address is www.alvinleelaw.com. You can reach me at 925-338-9882.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if you guys have questions, of course, you can always call me as well, Lisa Doyle, with Rockcliff Realtors, 925-890-7443. And I look forward to seeing you soon.